But there is another right move right now that I have for both corporations and individuals. So first, context. I hope that our viewers and all of the folks out there have been aware of the hate crimes against Asian folks across the country, particularly elderly Asian folks. I actually haven't seen as much, I guess, visibility or outrage from non-Asian folks in my circle. And I've had a hard time processing how I feel about both the crimes themselves and the reactions towards them. So first, the folks being attacked look like my parents. And that hits home in a very personal way. When I see the elderly Asian men being attacked, that reminds me of my father. I saw the video of the lady in Flushing, Queens, who was attacked, and that reminds me of my disabled mom. So what I'm seeing here is, from a macro level perspective, I see a racial ethnic group that is often perceived as weak being picked on. In addition, I see an age demographic that is often perceived as weak being picked on at the same time. And then I see the reactions of corporations. There were two on my LinkedIn feed that were of note. So I saw Viacom CBS come out with a strong statement, and I saw Peloton come out with a strong statement, right? So kudos to them. I also saw a few professionals who were not Asian denounce the hate crimes. And then I see the hashtags Stop Asian Hate, Stop AAPI Hate. That's fair. That's also defense. I'm asking folks, where's your offense? Because those hashtags and the outrage that comes from it, I'm not sure it's aggressive enough to start fixing some of the underlying issues here, where, again, the ethnic and racial group as a whole is often perceived as either invisible or weak. And honestly, in this society, if you're not visible, it's going to be attached to weakness or a lack of strength. So I think the most assertive way that folks should be thinking about this is not from a place of tolerance and getting along, but rather a forward-looking, assertive stance to show Asian folks, Pacific Islander folks, in a place of strength. For example, Viacom CBS or other streaming platforms, other media companies. How many Asian leads do you have in your shows? I'm pretty sure it doesn't even come close to matching the proportion of Asians and Pacific Islanders in the general US population. I'll also point out that there's a business case here because Asians are the largest, are the fastest growing racial ethnic group in the US. So there's a business case here, even if you don't want to prioritize the moral and ethical case. I'll also sort of take into account the reactions of folks in my network. So again, when I mentioned impact earlier, I've worked mostly with Black and Latino folks throughout my career, partly because that's where I grew up. Like I grew up in the neighborhoods that were predominantly Black. I went to a school that was very much Hispanic Latino. Like you know what City College is like, Derrick?
Uptown, baby.
That's right. Right by the Heights. So like I was drawn in to those communities because of where my parents moved me and then ultimately what school I chose. And I grew to love the sense of purpose I had in helping them either go to college or uh, helping folks in these communities start their careers. I have not received any messages from any former students or even current students that I've been working with individually that have asked me about what's been going on with the Asian hate crimes. And I actually don't take it very personally because I gave you all the context. If we're invisible, we're not going to be top of mind. What I do want to folks to be more cognizant of is how aware they are of these situations and how they can like amplify what's been going on so that we can humanize Asians and Pacific Islanders in a much stronger light. So for me, it's not about just being seen. Asian folks deserve to be highlighted. They deserve to be shown off and they deserve to shine. And when we put those kind of opportunities in front for folks like me to shine, we'll all do better. This isn't this is all in addition to celebrating all the Black folks you should be celebrating on Black History Month. This is in addition to celebrating all of the women you should be celebrating next month for Women's History Month. You need to be celebrating the Asian folks in your life, putting them into a position of strength, and hopefully America will see folks like me as the strong humans that we are. So I know this wasn't part of kind of like the original show notes we had, Derrick, but it has been like on my mind a lot. And thanks for giving me the time to speak on it.
This is our platform. Use it however you want to. One thing I will say is going back to your original point about how companies put out these like, these posts. Me personally, I think that's one of the like the laziest things that companies could do. So what I'm gonna, I'm really gonna lean on you to let me know what I could do to be more, I guess, on the offense in terms of making voices heard as well as bringing strength to the Asian community. So if there's anything that I can do besides putting up a post, let me know and I'll do my part.
I appreciate that. And like again, you've been a strong ally. We've actually talked about this issue in preparation for some of the pilot episodes, and I appreciate you giving me the space for it. I'll give like a quick example of Peloton with the strong statement. It was a compelling statement. Some of the most powerful users of that, like within my friend group, are Asians and Pacific Islanders. And I don't see Asian instructors being highlighted a whole lot by Peloton. They exist. They're out there. They're qualified, right? And in the same way, you know, these media companies, again, media really controls culture. And they have the power to make this change. They just have to put, like, they need to be courageous enough to take on some risk that maybe the people that we put in the leads are folks that look like me. Like, I don't mind being a lead in a music video. That's fine, right? But little things like this, like we simply don't see it, and it, you know, we're never put in a position of strength. So how would America view us as strong? But I'm here to tell you that we are strong, and if you all keep this up, America, we're gonna come up with a few clever ways that you may not like to show you our strength.